Hey folks, it's live chat 157 here on Brooks's Bass Corner. Good to see you. It's Sunday, it's 6 o'clock UK time. Coming to you live from London here in the UK. Hope you're all safe and well. Hope your bass playing's going good. If you've been out gigging this weekend, I hope you've had a fantastic time. Hope you got home safely, of course. So you're very welcome. Come on in. As I say, live chat 157. We're talking basses. Bass guitars, bass amps, bass effects, great bass players, albums with great bass playing on. Setting up your basses, building your pedal boards, doing gigs, talking about gear, all of that sort of thing. So if you want to come and talk bass, you're in the right place. You're amongst friends. By all means, add comments and questions into the live chat window. I'll go through all the rigmarole in a minute. So for any of you who with a keen eye on the channel, I've just put up a video in the last hour, which has actually been on my hard drive for about 12 months. Actually, 12 months today. I filmed that 12 months ago. So that video has just gone live. So I'm talking about being a dep. Kind of starting a new... This could be a new format for videos here on the channel. Obviously, doing what I do, I spend a lot of time driving, and last year I had a weekend where I did like 3 gigs on the bounce, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I thought, what's the best way of using my time while I'm driving, as well as concentrating on the driving, of course. And I thought, do you know what, the brain's going when I'm driving, so I could actually talk about a lot of things that I want to talk about here on the channel. So get your ideas down. And some of it came out so good, I thought, do you know what? That's the basis of the video, is me doing the chat on the drive. So we're going to do some videos where I'm talking about stuff that I have experience of, being a musician, being a bass player. And it'll be Brooks's, we're going to call it... It'll be road trips, Brooks's road trips. So the idea, I've got a few of these already stored on the drive. Just got to edit them up pretty much and do what I've done with this video. So I thought, hey, we've just done this video. Why don't you talk about this on the live chat? Because when we bring up being a dep, being a stand-in, I think in America you call it subbing. For some reason. Hope that's not about being a big sandwich or anything like that. It always gets sort of quite a good reaction. I thought, well, do you know what? We can tie this in. So here's the video, or here's a link to the video. If you haven't seen it, haven't checked it out, it's a longish one. It's 40 minutes, which is quite long for my content, but check it out. Maybe check it out and then come into the live chat. If you're watching this after the event, obviously you can pause this video, go and watch the video I've just put the link to, and then come back in and leave comments. Or if you're going to do it while we're doing this live chat live, watch the video and I'll see you in about 40 minutes. But if you want to talk about it, I've done this for, well, actually my first dep gig was in 1996. So 30 years of depping. Done many of them. I was trying to work it out the other day. I must have done in excess of 500, I think, dep gigs for bands that I'm not the regular bass player for. It goes in sort of fits and starts in my career, because I was in a couple of bands that were very busy, and invariably with dep stuff, people want you on the busy days, so Fridays, Saturdays, occasionally Sundays. And if I had just wanted to make a living being a dep, I'd have been pretty busy just doing that. But I always kind of like the security of being in a band full time. And I know some musos who were never in bands. They always just depped. They jumped from band to band. As the gigs came in, that's what they did. No, I've much preferred the regular work that a regular band and being part of the band would offer me. It did mean I missed out on some opportunities to work with some good bands, some good musicians, but that's just the way it goes. You can't do everything. So we've got Adrienne there, Carpenter. Hey, good to see you. And young Miss Stacey Ann, good to see you too. Thank you very much for your super thanks contribution for that video. And there's young Barry as well. Good to see you. So tonight's live chat, I'm quite happy to talk about this. So if you've watched the video already, I know you haven't had much of a run up because it's only been live and available for public viewing for just over an hour. But if you want to talk about it, maybe you're a beginner, maybe you're just starting your musical career and you want to ask questions about being a dep, being a sub, being a stand-in, pick my brains. If I can offer any words of wisdom or advice, that's what I want to do. That's what we do here on the live chats anyway. And I will try my best to answer your questions. I'm hoping a lot of what I would advise is already in this video, 40 minutes long. I had to cut about 25 minutes out. There was so much stuff in there, but I think I whittled it down to the bare essentials. But anyway, watch the video. Give me feedback. Let me know what you think. Barry, you think you can play in more than one band at once? I have done. It's the thing with those situations is the band you join and are in, are they busy? And some people join bands and they'll do 1 gig a month. I was in a band where I was doing 20 gigs a month, which meant obviously that I couldn't dep very often. Currently, I find myself in a position where I'm not actually an organising member of any of the bands that I'm in. I'm literally on a first call basis. So with Uncle Funk, it's an agreement that me and the band leader had when he first asked me, would you join the band? And I said, well, if I join the band, you're going to have the same issues that you've got. Because at the time, there was some movement in the band lineup, shall we put it. And I said, if I join the band, I'm going to be on the same footing as the people you're currently in a band with. And you don't want that. You want to be in charge of the band. So on that basis, it's better that I don't join the band as a full-time member, but you just give me first refusal of all the gigs. And he went, yep, I'll go with that. The Queen bands I'm playing in, it's exactly the same situation. I get first call on the gigs as they come into the diary. And if I'm not available to do them, the band leader just sorts someone else out to do it. I'm very happy sorting deps out. But in those bands, both of them, the band leaders want to pick the deps rather than leave it up to me. That's fine. I have no problem with that. So you can be in more than one band at once. It just depends on what the band situations are, what the band politics situation is. Some bands hate their band members going off and depping and doing that sort of thing. Other bands see it as a good way of harnessing deps for other positions in their band when they need deps. So if you broaden the musician network, and your band members are depping, you can bring other people into the fold when you need them. That's the way I've always seen it. My only opposition to people depping is that if you take a gig with your regular band or the band that you're working with, and then a depping opportunity comes your way, unless that depping opportunity is for a very famous band or doing a very big gig, or the pay packet is seriously out of the ballpark. If you've taken a regular gig with your regular band, you really ought to be doing that gig. Jumping from band to band just to earn an extra 30 quid, 50 quid, 100 quid, that's not good form in my book. But if you've already taken a gig elsewhere and then a gig comes in, then unless your regular band is offering you 150 gigs a year, if they're not paying you a retainer, you've got to pay the bills, and that's the way I've always kind of seen it. When I was in a very busy band, our diary was booked up so far in advance that I had to turn hundreds of depping gigs away over 17 years. That was the way it was. The way I looked at it was you're in for a penny, in for a pound. So if your regular band was doing a gig for 100 quid and you got offered a 200 pounder, but you were already booked, well, you can't do the 200 pounder. That's the way it goes. If I'd already taken the 200 pounder and my regular band came in with a £100 gig, then I would provide a dep to cover for me on that basis. I can't keep my diary unless you're a band of musicians who you all have day jobs, in which case you aren't relying on the gigging money to pay your mortgage, your bills, your rent, whatever else, then fair enough. But if you are relying on music as your only income, you have to go where the money is. Simple as that. But like I say, if you're in a working regular band and your band has already got a gig in your diary, you can't then really be jumping around between other bands to get a bit extra. That's not really a good thing. That's my answer to you, Barry. Hope that's handy. If you want to ask me some more questions about that, you want to come back on that, then feel free. But that's my take on that. So, as I say, live chat 157 here, Brooks's Bass Corner, Sunday evening. It's 11 minutes past 6 here in London town. Good evening. Welcome. Hope you're all having a good weekend. If you, as I said at the top, if you've been out gigging, I hope it's all been a good gigging weekend for you. So if you're new to the live chats, come on in. This is the video window, whether you're on the vertical stream or the horizontal stream. There's a QR code in the top right-hand corner. Put your phone towards that. It will take you through to the Brooks's Bass Corner channel on YouTube. So Barry, hello from Israel. Hey, good to see you. Oogleaf, good to see you. Sending love. And likewise, back to you guys. So this is the video window. Directly below, if you're on the mobile app, is the live chat window. If you're here on desktop, it's that way. You'll see the live chat section, see all the comments flying in. At the bottom, you'll see a rectangle which says chat or comment. Put your insertion point or cursor in there. Type your question or comment, press send, it will appear here in the window. Next to the text box, you'll see an emoji icon. Feel free to give that an absolute pummeling. The more emojis we get on the live chat, the happier the algorithm is, and it pushes the video out to more viewers, more bass players that watch this. Hopefully will come in, give us their knowledge and their advice and all of that sort of thing. Next to that, you'll see a dollar symbol in a rectangle, and that's called Super Chat. So if you wish to make a contribution to the channel, you can do so using Super Chat. You don't have to. The videos are free to watch. The channel is free to watch, but we are a monetized channel. So if you contribute money to the channel, it all gets fed back into the channel. So it pays for things like vidIQ. It used to pay for StreamYard. It pays for all the things you see on the videos, so the lights, the cables, microphones, boom stands, cameras, all the cabling, all the leads, all the memory cards, the basses, the pedals, the amps, the maintenance equipment you see on the workbench videos. Everything that gets contributed to this channel goes straight back into the channel. That's how it works. The idea is this channel will be around for another 20, 25 years, or as long as YouTube is. So there we go. So that's how the Super Chat facility works. But it's free to watch the videos, free to get involved on the live chat. But if you want to make a financial contribution to me, the channel, you enjoying the video, then feel free. Underneath the video window, you'll see a row of icons. There's a thumbs up and a thumbs down. Please give the video a thumbs up. It's the most important thing you can do for the video and the channel. I don't ask for subscribers. I think it's a vanity metric. Thumbs ups, though, I will ask for. So please give this live chat a thumbs up. And anything you watch here on the channel, there's over 1,000 videos. Please, Renee, good to see you. Is that the same as Ookleaf? Are you the same people? Maybe. You love my stuff. I haven't seen you in a very long time, young man. I haven't been over to Alat in a very, very long time. In fact, in 2 months' time, it will be 10 years since I last did a stretch at the Three Monkeys. So where did 10 years go? I couldn't tell you. But I do like your videos that you post up on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram. Keep doing that. More of it, please. So yes, please give the video a thumbs up. If you're going to give it a thumbs down, leave a comment in the comment section. Tell me what you don't like. I can't improve the videos if I don't know what people don't like about them. Then you'll find a share arrow, so you can share this video out to social media, email, websites. You'll find a watch later icon, which allows you to save videos that you might come across on YouTube, and you add them to that watch later facility, and then you can go back in your own time and watch them. After that, you're going to find a love heart with a dollar symbol in. That's called Super Thanks. Exactly the same as Super Chat, but Super Thanks exists on every video here on the channel. So if you watch one of the videos, maybe an interview or a workbench video or a demo or a review or one of the feature videos, maybe you're watching the depping video that I've posted up an hour and 15 minutes ago. If you find something in the videos you enjoy or you just like the content, then please feel free to use the Super Thanks option at any time. It's there on every single video. If you like what we do here on Brooks's Bass Corner, then feel free to use the Super Thanks. You don't have to wait till the live chat each week and donate via Super Chat, although I'm very grateful that you do. But the Super Thanks option is there on every single video. Underneath the row of icons, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. Thank you very much. Book 3100 just came in from the Lakeland setup from a few years ago. Thank you very much. Thank you. Did you enjoy the video? Did you get something useful out of it? Hope so. Hope you got something good out of that. So in the description box, from later this evening, I will go through and do the timestamps for this video, for this live chat. I get people ask, what are timestamps? What's that all about? So it's good practice if you're a YouTube content creator to do timestamps in your videos. The reason for doing them on these live chats is A, we sometimes talk for 2 to 3 hours. If you're watching this video after the event, you may not have 2 or 3 hours to spend watching it. I highly recommend, if you're going to watch live chats and you're tight for time, watch them at double speed. You can still hear what we're saying. It just goes by a bit quicker, but it gets you through the video in half the time. But the idea of the timestamps are that once we finish the live chat, I go back into the video and I can basically put pointers of all the things that we talk about on this live chat. So when you watch it afterwards, you'll see the timeline, the red line that runs along the bottom of the videos has little notches all the way along. Those are where the timestamps are. So if you only want to see what we're talking about, which is being a dep, being a sub, being a stand-in, you can run your cursor across that timeline and you will see where the sections are that we talk about that. The alternative is going to the description box and you can click they're falling out already, aren't they? You can click on that at any point while you're watching the video. I won't have the timestamps in there. You'll see the first one, which is 000 intro, but you won't have all the details because I haven't put them in because we're doing the live chat. But from later on, those timestamps will be there. So you can see a listing of all the things that we're going to talk about on tonight's live chat. And you can just click on the timestamp and it will take you straight through rather than watching the whole live chat. Personally, I'd rather you watched all the live chat because it helps the channel. It racks up the view time, racks up the minutes, and helps me beyond compare. You know, if you watch a whole live chat, fabulous. Thank you very much. If you watch multiple live chats, I'll buy you dinner one day, okay? That's how it kind of works. But anyway, that's how the timestamps work. In the description box, after timestamps, you will find a link there for Brooks's Bass Corner, personalised for the new The Bassist Magazine. We have a new magazine here in the UK, shipping worldwide. We launched the sampler issue. I'm expecting to hear from a few people overseas. Have you had your issues yet? I suspect not, because some people in the UK didn't get their magazine till this week, middle of this week. It's out on second class post. It's going to take a while. So if you're in the US or elsewhere on the planet, just bear with us. You will get them. If you don't get them, let me know and I will send you, or I'll put it in the live chat. There's an email for the subscriptions department of the magazine. They will sort it for you. You will get your magazine. But at the moment, they're probably in transit. But there we go. So there's a personalized link in there for Brooks's Bass Corner. So if you use that link and take a subscription out with the magazine, the people at the magazine and the publishers and the subscriptions house will see how many subscriptions the channel is generating for the magazine. Now, what that will do is in 12 months' time, when your subscriptions come up for renewal, the publisher has already said to me, we will offer a discounted rate to Brooks's Bass Corner subscribers and followers who took out their initial subscription via the link. So if you use that link, you will get paid back in a year's time. You will get an offer for a reduced subscription. Then you'll find merchandise links. So Brooks's Bass Corner merch. I think I've got a Lee Sklar shirt on. Have I? I have. I wore it the other day. but it's been in the wash since, so fabulous Lee Sklar shirt. We love Lee Sklar here on the channel. So Brooks's Bass Corner merch, every item in both stores around the world, 20% off until midnight tonight. So wherever you are on the planet, if it's Sunday where you are, I know George Iliadis is probably already into Monday. You've missed the deal, George. But if you're elsewhere on the planet, you're still in Sunday up until 23:59 tonight. 20% off all Brooks's Bass Corner merch. So there's caps, t-shirts, hoodies, sweatshirts. There's mouse mats like this wonderful thing. So you want a Brooks's Bass Corner mouse mat, they're 20% off. There's 170 items across 15 different designs. By all means, use the merch links in the description box and fill your boots, 20% off. Then after that, we have affiliate links for the Bass Centre here in the UK. We've got Top Cashback and vidIQ. So if you use any of those platforms, if you set up an account or take out a subscription, use those links. We get a very small affiliate kickback. Then if you've got any bass related purchases, maybe a new bass, an amp, pedal, strings, leads, straps, gig bags, cases, anything to do with basses, we have affiliate links with Amazon and Thomann. The way that works, go to our storefronts, find an item you're after, put it in your basket, pay for it. Once it's shipped to you, we get a small affiliate commission back here on the channel, and all those small commissions end up becoming a bigger commission and we get paid. That's how that works. After that, you'll find the social media links, and you'll find some Facebook, Instagram, Be Real, Reddit, Quora, Discord, and TikTok. There we go. Right. Book 3100. Oh, yes, good tips and useful. Talking about the Lakeland workbench video I did. Stacey Ann, how about that? Evergreen content, Brooksy. There you go. That's the plan. That's the plan. Book. Okay, I might have to get that magazine. Oh, I'm in Kansas. That doesn't matter. We ship to the US. Stacey's already got a subscription. Young Zoomer's got a subscription. Various people who come here onto Brooks's Bass Corner have taken out subscriptions for our new mag. Coming back to playing after having been away too long. Well, you're very welcome. You're amongst friends. You got any questions? Looking for some pointers or some advice? Come on in. You're amongst bass players. It's all good. DJ Spire, how am I? I'm good. I'm good. I've been very busy. Last 2 days doing a video that if you go to the top of the live chat, you'll see the link. Only put it up an hour and 24 minutes ago. In fact, I don't even know how the video's doing. So I know Stacey liked it because she donated money via Super Thanks. We've had... Where is it? There it is. It's had 11 views. It's not exactly blown like a cannonball, but there we go. These things sometimes can be slow builders, so it's fine. Live chat has had 36 views, so thank you very much if you're watching. Good to have you along. Let's have a look. That's fine. That's all working too. Just checking the comments in the community tab. I think that's all good. Yep, that's fine. That's fine. Let's just check the stream health. I think that's all good. Yep, that one, because we're running two separate feeds. That stream health is good too, so we're rocking and rolling. Excellent. I just saw a message there from young Bill Derbyshire. Am I missing Bill Derbyshire's there, isn't he? Good to see you. Stacey has met teeth in. Hey, Stacey saying, hey, Kansas, easy to order the magazine for US delivery, anticipating mine any day now. It should be there. DJ Spire and well, just got rid of a gum infection. Will you stay healthy? That's the thing. Stay healthy, folks. Just check I'm not missing anything from there, so that's fine. And then that is... So I missed your message there, Bill. It hasn't popped up in the streaming platform, but that's fine. No, I'm not missing anything else. Wonder why that's not showing there. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there, but anyway. So, yes, there we are. It's 25 past 6 here in London. Live chat 157, coming to you from London town here in the UK. It's Brooks's Bass Corner, isn't it? It's Sunday night live chat. So we're talking about being bass deps, bass subs, bass stand-ins. If you've got any questions, I've already put a video up in the last hour and 26 minutes. I filmed it while I was driving. A year ago today, I was in the car. I was going down to Loo, down in Plymouth, doing a Queen show at a holiday park. And it was a weekend where I did 3 gigs, 2 different Queen tribute bands and an Uncle Funk disco show, slap bang in the middle of it. And I was driving down to Loo, and I thought, well, it's a 5-hour drive each way. I might as well record a load of stuff. I just record ideas while I'm driving. And it actually turned into not a ramble, but it became a fairly structured chat about being a Dep. I get asked about it all the time. I get messages come in on email, socials, come through here on the WhatsApp, YouTube channel. People asking, how do you be a Dep? You're always talking about depping. How do you do it? How do you get started? There's no one size fits all. The biggest part of depping, certainly at the start, and had I known better when I first turned professional, and actually going back to when I was at university and I wasn't a professional player, I really should have been going out to gigs. I should have been going out to covers gigs in London venues, checking out the bands, checking out the players. Here he is, young Zuma, the man with a voice for voiceover work. And I really should have been networking, like from the moment I came up to London. And I didn't. No one told me you did that. I just assumed that over time you'd end up bumping into people. But as bass players, we don't. Unless in the early days of me playing, the only times I would network with other bass players was either in bass stores, like at the Bass Centre, or back then my band that I was in a glam rock tribute band. We would do university shows. So there would be multiple bands on the show, on the night. And then you could pass your details over and swap numbers. We didn't really have email back then. And I did that, but for whatever reason, I never really got many calls. And it was just under a year for me to be on a gig. And the guy was called Andy Higgins. And I know Andy Higgins is still out there working. And he was there with one of his tribute bands. And he knew who I was and I knew who he was. We were both aware of each other on the same circuits because the agency for my band was run by the guitarist in the band, but the agency for the band he was in, that agent used to be in our band. So by hook or by crook, names get passed around. Oh, who's playing for such a... Oh, yeah. And suddenly your name ends up in that circle. He knew who I was. I knew who he was. And he saw our show. And he said, look, I'm always needing Deps. Would you be interested in doing some Dep work for me? I said, yeah, absolutely. He said, well, I don't need anyone at the moment because all my summer gigs are sort of taken care of, but there's a possibility I'm going to be abroad later in the year, so I'll give you a shout. And he kept to his word. He gave me a shout. I think that was in September of 96, and the gig was actually at the end of that month. And he said, oh, could you do this gig? It's a disco gig. Hey, Beat, good to see you. And I said, yes, I can do it. He said, oh, good. Well, look, can you come and meet me in Shepherd's Bush? And I'll give you the notes and the charts, and I'll give you some cassettes with all the set. And he did. I went down and got it, and I learnt it leading up in the week leading up to that gig. We had a band rehearsal on the Friday, and we did the gig on the Saturday. And it was great, and I loved it because it was music I loved. It was disco classics, of course. And lo and behold, on that gig, I then meet the next guy who's going to open doors for me, which was Bob Skeet of Wishbone Ash. You'll see Bob in that video. And Bob was there playing with a Britpop tribute at the time, but it was basically featuring a couple of the guys from the Mike Fabgear band, and they were doing a Britpop tribute. It was 1996. That was very, very popular. And the gig we were on was a university summer ball. So we did the disco thing, and I don't think I hung around to watch their Britpop thing, but they were there because they had to sound check before we did. And Bob came up to me having watched our disco set, and he went, "You're quite good. Are you available as a Dep? Is this your main band?" I went, No. This is my very first ever Skeety, indeed. Beano, to those who know. And I said, no, this is actually the very first time I've Depped for anyone. He said, well, you've pretty good. You nailed the stuff. Would you be interested in doing some depping for me? And I thought, wow, is this how it works? You literally do a dep for someone else sees you, and then and that is exactly how it works. And I said, yeah, I'd love to. And we were talking, and he then said, oh, well, I play in this band called Mike Fabgear. And I knew who Fabgear was because we would see him, although we hadn't done any gigs on the same lineup, when we were doing the university shows with the glam rock band, you'd always see who the next bands were playing at the various universities. Fabgear was always on those lists. And I was like, who is this Fabgear thing? So anyway, here's Bob, the bass player. And I said, well, where are you based? He said, Ealing. I said, no. I said, I live in Ealing. He said, well, I live in Ealing. I've lived there all my life. I was like, right, okay. I said, well, look, here's my number. Here's my address. If you want to pop round, we'll have a chat. And lo and behold, within a fortnight, I think, Bob was on the phone. I've got a couple of gigs. Can you do these? And I was like, crikey, okay. I went and watched Fab gigs. They were in the middle of a theatre tour at the time. And they did a gig at Wimbledon Theatre. And I went and watched them. And I thought, this is great. Oh, I really want to have a go at this. And that was it. And so suddenly I was depping for two different people. And gigs would come in from both of the bands, multiple bands that they were both playing in. So from the first guy, I was doing Disco Inferno. I was doing the 80s Relax band. I was doing Grease Lightning. And all the people in those bands were doing other bands. So suddenly you're on their list of bass players. And then through Bob, I was doing Fab Gear. I was doing the Britpop band. I did a duo and a trio with the guitarist from those bands. And I ended up being the dep for the keyboard players ABBA project, which is the ABBA band that I now play with, Platinum ABBA. So I ended up depping, or mainly being Bob's dep for anything he couldn't do. And this just coincided with him. He was working for Toyah, but he was also working with Wishbone Ash in the studio. And then eventually he became the bass player the following year for Wishbone Ash. And that's kind of how that all worked. And that just sets that whole ball rolling. And as I say in the video, when you're depping, once people get to know who you are and that you're a safe pair of hands, it is like an octopus with tentacles. It just goes everywhere. And you start getting phone calls and messages from people you've never heard of or you don't know. And suddenly it just develops and your diary takes off. And there are periods, certainly in the summer and Christmas, when depping, you get depping overload, where if you're clever and you're wise about it, you can end up literally gigging every day. Little less frequently now because there just aren't that number of gigs around, but that's kind of how it works. And it just becomes an ongoing thing, and you just never know. And I've always said this on any gig, you never know who's watching. You could be doing a gig to 10 people. There could be a musician in that 10 people that sees you, gets your number, and suddenly gives you loads of work. And it happens. I've seen it happen. It's happened to me. So on that basis, always do every gig the best you can. Don't think, oh, there's only 10 people in, I won't bother. I'm not going to play properly. I'm just going to fart about. Don't be that person. Put do the job that you're there to do, and you just never know who's watching. You never know. People saying hello in the messages. Here we go. Zuma, but B is in the house. He is. Zuma saying hello to book. Renee, not to interrupt. You can interrupt as much as you like. I will plow on, and then I come to the messages and I read them out. Renee, I was wondering how the scene is doing. Dreadful. If you were thinking of coming back to London to play, forget it. The scene you knew when you were here doesn't exist anymore. It's gone. The regular gigs that we all had as a circuit of gigs, and the gigs that I used to book, remember I used to book the Avantis on those gigs in town, don't exist. The chain that I was booking, that stopped having bands in 2016. So it doesn't even exist. The company doesn't even exist. Roadhouse doesn't exist. That's gone. All the walkabouts are pretty much gone. I think there might be one or two dotted up north, but that's all gone. O'Neill's now pay less than they did 10 years ago. The only kind of regular gigs in London now are Wardour Street O'Neill's and a few other bits and pieces, but they are not regular. The Swan doesn't even have bands, hasn't had bands since COVID stopped. A lot of that circuit work I'm not even privy to anymore, Renee. I just don't do it. I work in a 10-piece disco show band. I work in Queen tributes. I work for an ABBA tribute, and I pick up the odd bit of depping here and there. It's very, very different. Has it changed in recent years? Is it still busy as it used to be? I've just answered that. It's nothing like what it used to be. I've done here on the live chats before and gone through old diaries. In fact, we can do that if you wish, folks. Let me pull out a diary from, so where are we? 2026. Let me pull out diaries from 2016 and 2006. I'm literally just going left of the camera, okay? Let's just dig these out, shall we? Well, here we go. 2007 is close to hand. 2005. Is there 2006 there? Might be. 2015. 22, 23, 21, 2002. I've got so many old diaries. Bear with me a moment. Right, there we go. 2016. Let me see if I can find the 2006 one. 8. No. There we go. Done it. So we've got 2006 and 2016. Right. So if I go back to this week and this month, March, right? Sean, thank you very much for that super chat or super thanks, whichever one it was. Thank you. We need to click on that, don't we? There we go. Thank you very much. Thank you, Sean. So 2006. So at the moment, I'm in the quietest period I've ever had as a professional musician. Up until last Saturday, I hadn't done a gig since December the 20th. I've got one or two coming up, and then I get into the run of it when we get to sort of towards the end of April. Please forgive the dog. He's barking because my other half's just pulled up on the drive. Oh, and a super sticker, Sean. I tell you. I told those people they were wrong about you. Thank you. So 2006, March. I'll tell you what gigs I had. Let's have a look here. Right. I had one. I'll go through them. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 gigs in March 2006. So if I tell you how many of them still exist, okay? So on the 2nd, which was a Thursday, so back then you could pretty much gig almost every night of the week if you wanted to. On Thursday the 2nd, I played at High Wycombe O'Neill's. I think they still have bands, but they don't pay very much. I haven't played there since 2016. It's the last time I played at High Wycombe O'Neill's. I then played on Friday the 3rd at a place called The Glen in Edgware. That doesn't exist. That pub's long gone, as far as I'm aware. On the 4th, I did a Green Days tribute gig at Bridgend Leisure Centre, which I would hope is still there, but that band stopped working in 2008. So that's that. On Thursday the 9th, my 3-piece covers band played at Oxford O'Neill's. That's still around, but they pay less than they used to. I think they might only have duos and solos now. On Friday the 10th, I played with the Green Day tribute at a place called The Venue down in southeast London at New Cross. The Venue, as far as I'm aware, hasn't reopened since COVID. And that used to have bands every weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So that's another one that's gone. On Saturday the 11th, I played with my covers band at the Swan in Stockwell. That hasn't had bands since COVID. On Sunday the 12th, I did a duo at Hennessy's in South Harrow. That doesn't exist. On Monday the 13th, I did a Green Days tribute with Durham Walkabout up in Newcastle. I wouldn't be doing a gig like that anymore. The Walkabouts have all gone. Thursday the 16th of March, I played at the Redback with my covers band in Acton. The Redback, the venue still exists. not called the Redback. I think it's called the Aeronaut, and they don't have bands. Friday the 17th, which was Paddy's Day, I was doing a duo at O'Neill's in Earl's Court. I think that is still there, but they stopped having bands back in the late 2000s, as far as I'm aware. On Saturday the 18th of March, I played with my covers band. It was a wedding, I think, at a venue called Mallory Court in Warwick. That could still be there, I don't know. On Thursday the 23rd of March 2006, again, my covers band played High Wycombe O'Neill's. On Saturday the 25th, we played at Shepherd's Bush Walkabout. That's long gone. It's now a hotel. On Sunday the 26th, I did a duo at Bromley O'Neill's. Bromley O'Neill's still has bands, but they don't pay very well, as far as I'm aware. Haven't played there since 2017. Thursday the 30th of March, I played Bournemouth Walkabout. That doesn't exist anymore. And Friday the 31st of March, I did a duo in On the Green in Palmer's Green. Actually, it wasn't a duo. It was a band gig. I think that is still there. I don't know if they still have bands. So that shows you how many of those have gone. So let's go back to 10 years ago, March 2016. So I was in a band called Calabash at that time. And we had, or I had, amongst all the gigs I was doing, so the whole of March, 1, 2, 3. We had a London-based show in the middle of it. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I had 10 gigs 10 years ago in March. So you can see the numbers already dropped. So on Friday the 4th, we were with Calabash, Kingston O'Neill's. Kingston O'Neill's still has bands. They pay dreadfully. Saturday the 5th of March, we were at Kelly's in Hendon. Kelly's was great. I think it got sold on. It's become something else, but I don't think they have bands anymore. Thursday the 10th, we were at Bar and Beyond in Chelmsford, which was a venue that a previous manager of one of the London venues I used to book for had gone and taken over. He got me booking all the bands, and then he left. He was only there for about 4 weeks, and he left me with 3 months of band bookings. New manager came in and said, I don't want the bands. I said, well, you've already booked them and they're paid for, so you might as well have them. And then they never had bands again. So that was Bar and Beyond in Chelmsford. On Paddy's Day, on the 17th of March 2016, we played at Scarlet's Bar in Covent Garden. Scarlet's Bar got rebranded as the Long Acre, and they don't have bands anymore. Saturday, 19th of March, we played at the North Star in Ealing, which is still there, still has bands. Then on Thursday the 24th, I was playing with the A-listers. Hello, Guy Watson, if you're listening. He won't be listening, but I was playing with the A-listers at Bar and Beyond in Chelmsford. Friday 25th, Calabash was playing at Smoky Joe's in Maidenhead. Smoky Joe's doesn't exist anymore. Saturday 26th, we were playing at Butlins Minehead. Butlins Minehead definitely still exists. And then we did a wedding in Derby on Sunday 27th. And wrapping it up, on Thursday, the 31st of March, I was with my band at Bar and Beyond in Chelmsford. So over the space of 20 and 10 years, my marches have just got gradually worse. But it is what it is. The venues just aren't there. So, Rene, that will give you an idea exactly what it's like. It's very, very different to how it used to be. Stacey, you met Beano when Wishbone Ash came to the Blue Note music venue in Durham, North Carolina. Have they been back since then? That was quite a while ago. DJ Spy, your first bass guitar was a Fender from 77. I hope you kept it. That'll be worth a very pretty penny now. There's young Bill Derbyshire. Good to see you, sir. Stacey saying hello. Book, my first bass was a Telestar hollow body violin bass. Worst action in history, I bet. But I never gave up. Good for you. Don't give up. There's no reason to. There's always better basses to buy and play. So there we go. So that's a look back on what my gig diaries were like 10 years ago, 20 years ago. It's very different at the moment. So, as I said, in 2006, I had 15 gigs. Or was it more? Was it 17? 15 or 17 gigs in March. In 2016, I was down to 10. Here we are in 2026. The way it's looking at the moment, by the end of March, I'll have done 2 gigs. That's how it's changed. Very, very different times, ladies and gentlemen, I can assure you. What's Stacey saying there? No, they've been over here since, but not close enough. Right, okay. Book, that was back when you were 13. You're 59 now. Well, you know, if we can offer any help, any advice, feel free to ask and we will try our best to help you. Guide you along the roads and byways of playing bass. So as I said at the top of the live chat, I put a new video out just before 5 o'clock. So if you've not seen it, and what we're talking about tonight, of course, is this. So you want to be a dep, you want to be a stand-in, you want to be a sub. Here's a link to that very video if you haven't checked it out. It's a 40-minute watch, well, 37 minutes to be exact. And we're talking, well, I'm talking about being a dep, being a sub, being a stand-in. It's not just for bass players, it's for musicians generally. But I've tried to put 8 steps, 8 sections that I think are worth considering. A, if you want to be a dep, and B, if you already are one. There's always stuff to learn, but I think pretty much all the points I've put in there are still as relevant now as they were 30 years ago when I started depping in 1996. Things have changed, technology's changed, access to music has changed. God, I used to put together cassette tapes of songs that I felt I needed to know and learn because they were standards. Now you just go on YouTube or Spotify, it's all there. No way could anyone ask you to learn a song now and you say, I can't learn it, I haven't learned it, I don't have access to the tune. Back then, if you either had to buy an album, go to your local library, plunder cheap record stores, cheap cassette stores, and build up a library of tracks, or borrow off of people, and that was all you had. That's how you did it. Bill Derbyshire, you have 3 gigs in April, which hasn't happened for a while. Everyone is feeling the pinch, I can tell you. Some musicians are in quite busy bands, or they're in with production companies that have multiple bands, and they're doing okay. But a lot of musicians are struggling, I can tell you. I've heard many people since the turn of the year have taken up full-time jobs, who have been professional full-time musicians all their career, and they just haven't got enough work coming in to pay their bills, their mortgage, put bread on the table. I just hope the summer is good and kind to us. I really do. At the moment, my summer diary is okay. It's not off the charts, but it's okay, and there's still time for stuff to come in. But it's hard. It is really hard at the moment. Perfect. Bill Derbyshire, what do you think of the new magazine? Spill your guts. I want the good and the bad. What do you think? Oh, and on another note, I need to open a little word process document sheet, don't I? So I've said before, we really want to do an interview with young Barry Moorhouse of the Bass Centre. Well, I'm very happy to inform you that I'm going to see the man for dinner on Friday. And he has agreed to do an interview at some point, not while we're having dinner, but rather than come here on a live chat, and it could all get a bit unscripted and messy. Folks, if you've got any questions you would like me to pose to Mr. Barry Moorhouse of the Bass Centre, then please put them in the live chat window, and over the next couple of weeks, and I will assemble a list, and he and I are going to do a sit-down interview, and I'm going to film it, and it will become a video. So if there's anything you want to ask Barry about his time at the Bass Centre, the old Bass Centre, the new Bass Centre, any funny stories he's got, and Lord knows he has many, I can't wait to hear a few over dinner on Friday. Anything you want to ask about the people he's met, the gear they used to sell, the gear they still sell, all of that, post them and I will put them all into a document and I will take them with me and I will ask him all those questions. But that's the best way of doing this. So if you've got any questions for Barry Moorhouse from the Bass Centre, folks, let's have them and I will assimilate them. I wish that dog had stopped barking. Thank you. Yeah, I can hear you. Right, we've got questions here. Vintage Corgi, did Bill receive his mag? He did. He received it a day before I did. The lucky man. Just bear with me a moment, folks. What are you shouting for? What? It's okay. It's all right. I think he's waiting for his mum to come through the door. Bill, you think the magazine's great? Looking forward to the next issue, which you assume may be a little thicker. It'll be 3 times the size. So the sampler issue is, for people who don't know what I'm talking about, let me get a copy. So this one is 34 pages, minus the covers. So the next issue, I think, is 86. I think it's 86. So you get a very nice interview with me on the back page. Don't ask me why. And then you've got all the reviews, you've got all the theory, you've got the... obviously, if you have the paper edition, you should have access to the digital edition as well, which will give you access to the videos that I did, the video reviews. And then we've got all the interviews, all the features, all of that. The editor... Sorry, I can't really show you too much because until first week in April, when I'm allowed to show stuff out of this. The editor is on holiday for a week. When he comes back next Monday, we've got magazine meetings to decide what's going to be in there, what the content's going to be, what we're doing, how we're going to do it. So it should all be good. Looking forward to it. Yeah, you like the sound of that. Good. Book. Oh, it's got a theory section. Yep. So if you don't know, clearly you don't know my background. So I've done 4,500 gigs. I've been a professional player for 31 years. I've been playing bass for 39 years. For 18 years, from 2004 till 2022, I wrote for Bass Guitar Magazine and Bass Player. So you must have heard of Bass Player. I did reviews. I did interviews. I did features, columns, the whole lot. Stacey Ann, $50 super chat. Hell's bells. You've been on the sherry, haven't you? Thank you very much. Bless your heart. Actually, I need to go back through and say thank you to everyone for their contributions. Just bear me a moment. I can't believe you've done that. We need that one, I think. Thank you, Sean. I can't do anything to that one, but I can to that. So outstanding, Stacey. $50. Thank you. Thank you. Michael Anthony will come along and put 100, won't he? Thank you, Stace. So appreciated. Thank you. Amazing. Amazing. Off the charts even. Thank you very much. I need to put that banner back up. Thank you. Very good. Sorry, I missed the flow there. It's got a theory section. Yes, so that's in there. So I was doing the mag, and Joel, the editor, he was a writer for Bass Guitar Magazine like I was. And then the magazine went under in 2012 and then got bought out by another publisher. And they put Joel in as the editor. And when he got that job, he then came to me and said, do you want to come and write for the Resurrected Mag? He stayed the editor for 10 years. In 2018, our publisher then moved again to Future Publishing. They bought up the publishers of bass player. So then we had Bass Guitar Magazine and Bass Player, and during COVID those magazines got amalgamated, and Joel and I carried on working for that mag until September 2022. So yeah, all of that. Stacey, here's to the bassist delivery to a Brooks's Bass Corner live chat member. We'll get you. Zuma, now that you've been interviewed, I think you should double your dep charge. I wouldn't get it. You've seen how rates are falling here in London. If only. It is the first time I've ever been featured as an interviewee in a magazine. I've done stuff on radio, I've done stuff on YouTube channels, but I've never done a magazine, have it in print. So I've made it, you know. Book 3100. Oh yeah, you've been there. Awesome, man. Cheers. Thank you. He probably will. What, double my dep rate? I doubt it. Usually bands come to you regarding depping, and they will tell you what the fee is. And I prefer that than people leaving it open-ended and you have to say or they say, well, what do you want? Because that doesn't tell me, you know, I might quote 250 and you might only have a budget of 100, and that happens. So I'd rather a band comes to me and says, this is what the fee is. And then you can say, I can't do it for that. Not after, is there fuel on top? If there isn't fuel on top, I definitely can't do it. If you could do it for this, then I can do it. So I'm usually sort of, I can do that. I can be flexible. If the band is saying, we want to offer you a load of work, but we just need you to do it for this, and then other gigs will be more, I'm always pretty cool with that. It's when you get the one-offs, and you can't, these days I kind of know when it's only ever going to be a one-off, especially if the guy I'm covering for is always in that band. If that's like his main band and he never misses a gig, and you get them come to you and they say, will you dep for us on such and such a date? The fee's really low, but it's like, and I know I'm going to get no residual work out of it. Those are the ones I tend to, I give a wide berth to these days, because I know it's going to be a lot of learning for essentially one gig, and I might never play that stuff ever again. That has happened on many occasions. Zuma, Stacey is the baddest. There you go. I wish she would cut my hair at least once. She'd give you a wave. I know you like a wave in your hair. You want the Le Bon Arcadia cut. I've got something to send to you later. I meant to send it to you while I was walking the dog this morning. I forgot. I'll send it to you after this live chat. Stacey knows because I sent it to her last night. You want the Le Bon Arcadia cut post being electrified. Just lick your fingers, stick them in the plug socket. That'll do. There's Richard, young Richard. Stacey saying she can do it. Yep, I think you'll find there's like several 100-mile discrepancy between your locations. That's the problem. Stacey, and recommend the proper styling products. Now that's what you need to tap into, Zuma. If Stacey were to cut my hair, she'd soon be unemployed. Yeah. There wouldn't be much for her to do, really. Maybe give the eyebrows a trim. I had to have my eyebrows trimmed the other day. I hadn't realised they were becoming a little unkempt. And there's only so many tweezer plucks you can endure. And I just said to my hairdresser, please just get the shaver and put the guard on and she did. She did a very good job. Well done, Emma. But there we are. So, yes, back to the topic. So you want to be a bass dep, you want to be a sub, you want to be a stand-in. There's so many elements to this, and I don't want to sort of just reiterate exactly what I've said in the video. So, as I say, if you go searching through the live chat here, you'll find the link. I will put the link actually in. Let me put the link in the description for today's video. That would make sense, wouldn't it? Yeah, let me do that. That makes some sense for you fine people. That's in there. So if I refer to it, you can just go into the description of this video and you will see it. So I released this video 2 hours ago, and I think pretty much everything I've covered in there is as relevant now as it was 30 years ago. I don't think anything's changed. A few tweaks as time has gone on, and yeah, you're always learning when you're doing a dep. Every gig is different. Every band is different, and you kind of have to be flexible. You can't expect a band to operate how you do on your regular gigs. And sometimes the band dynamic can be very strange. Sometimes it's very easy. Sometimes it's very odd. And you just got to remember, you got to get the job done. And if they have a regular bass player, you are literally just standing in for that guy. And next gig, he'll be back, you know. Was I doing a Dennis Healy? No, they hadn't got my eyebrows would never. Can you imagine me letting my eyebrows get that bad? No. They were just getting a little fluffy around the edges, shall we say. Bill Derbyshire, being a dep can lead on to permanent position as it did for me. That's how I got the Uncle Funk gig. I depped for the previous bass player. They'd had a couple of bass deps who hadn't learnt the stuff, didn't do the work, and I knew that set was not hard. There was a lot of stuff, quite a few medleys and segues, and you had to have your wits about you. And I put I would say I put 3 to 4 weeks of work into that, because I knew on that gig it was going to be a roast, a serious roast. And it was. And the following day, and I recorded the gig, and the following day I got a message from the bass player screaming and shouting down my phone, "What have you done? What have you done?" And I was like, what's he going on about? I thought I did a good gig. I've got the audio. I'd listened back to it in the car on the way home. It sounded okay to me. I don't think I did anything wrong. I rang back. I said, "What are you going on about?" He said, he was like speechless. He said, "What have you done? What have you done?" I don't know what you're talking about. He said, "You did such a good job. Such a good job." And they're like, now I've got to pull my socks up. Okay, right. Well, I just learnt the stuff. I copied your playing on the live tracks, and that was it. It was so that they didn't recognize you weren't there. I wanted it to be as close to what you play, mistakes and all. That's what they got. Oh my God. And lo and behold, a couple of years later, when the band members in that band moved on and the band leader was putting together a new version of the band, he came to me and said, "Look, I really like your playing. Do you want to be in this?" I said, "Yeah, great." And that was that. So that's exactly, as you say, Bill, that's exactly what can happen. It happened to me. And there is a point in the video where I say, you know, there are people I still work with now, occasionally depping, who I worked with 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. There are people going back to 1995 when I first turned pro, who I still work with, still get calls from. So, as I say, if you do a good job, you do your work, you're diligent, you're reactive to what you've got to do, you put in the hard yards, you find out, you know, before you turn up to the gig, what gear do I need? What clothes do I need? Pedal board. Does everything work? Have I got the right bases for this? Actually, one thing I didn't mention in the video. This will be a subject for another video. Remember, Mike, when you go through timestamps, make a note of this. This is a future video for the channel. When you're learning stuff and you're depping for other people, make sure you learn the stuff with the bass you're going to use and have it at the height on the strap that you're going to have it at on the gig. And if you're practicing without headphones and you're practicing live at home with a cab and an amp and what have you, make sure it's all the same as what you're going to use on the night. You want that ability to go into autopilot. Excuse me. You need to have that ability to go into autopilot. And what I mean by that is, if you're learning stuff from scratch, especially, or you don't know any of the material, or you don't know the arrangements, you want to be able to replicate exactly what you have done at home learning it. So when you're on the stage, all the lights are going and the band are flying around the stage and what have you. It isn't going to throw you, and you're locked into, right, everything feels the same. Your hand and arm angles are the same as they were when you were learning the stuff at home. The bass is at the same height and angle. The sound is the same. There will be a change in the sound because practicing at home is not going to sound like it does when you're on a stage. However, if you can replicate as much of the familiarity that you had learning the stuff at home, that helps with doing a good gig. I didn't mention that in that video. I don't know why, but I would always say that. And I got into that habit very early, that learning on a bass that isn't the bass you're going to use on the gig, that ain't good, especially if it's got quite idiosyncratic tones. Try and, the bass you're going to use on the gig, use that to learn the tracks. And over like a week of learning, you're doing this stuff every day, it suddenly becomes second nature. And then when you're on the gig, you just fall straight into it because everything is familiar. Another golden tip. Richard, I've done the same a few times, always got the job. If you put the preparation work in first, you'll do well. Setup reliability is everything. Don't I know it? Bill, and be prepared to change key. Absolutely. Which is where the Digitech drop pedal comes in. If I had had that pedal like back in the mid-90s or early 2000s, would have saved me so much grief. Yes, you can be prepared to transpose, but that pedal and the pitchfork from EHX, I know the Kempers and the modelling units all have transposing features. It just makes things so much easier. It really does. The vintage Korg. Why am I saying that? Stacy. This is exactly how my Spanish teacher used to teach us. He would play a soundtrack during our study times, and on the day of the test, he would play the same soundtrack. Clever chap. The recall was amazing. Very clever. Very clever. Yeah. I agree with that. This live chat, we have had 103 views. Thank you very much, folks. Oh, I haven't even said it, have I? Happy Mother's Day to all you mums out there, whether they're kids or fur babies. Hope you've had a lovely Mother's Day. I meant to say that at the start of the live chat, sorry. If you're a female bass player, happy Mother's Day. So it is 8 minutes past 7. Here on live chat 157. I'm just going to have a little lug of water. I had pasta before dinner. I can feel meatball piece going down my throat. That's what made me a bit breathless there. Very good. Clear the old tubes, Mike. Beat after beat, it's Mother's Day. It is here in the UK. Richard, if you know the material well enough, transposition by ear is easy enough. Not if it's going from a D to a B, it isn't. Not on bass, no. Or what was the other cracker? When it goes from E to a C sharp. Always find that's lovely. Or a B flat. That's lovely. That's really good. But the drop pedal would have saved a lot of gnashing of teeth, I think. What about the female bass players that aren't mothers? They might have fur babies. They might have fur babies. Hey, they might have fur babies. So have you got any questions about basses, bass guitars, bass amps, bass effects, great bass players, or you want to talk about being a bass dep? Fire away. Put your comments on the live chat window and press send, and then we can respond to them. Stacey, I forget you'll celebrate Mother's Day over there in March. Happy Mother's Day to Sue Brooks. She'll ring me after the live chat and she'll say, oh, well, I fell asleep before the live chat starts. She hasn't quite got the gist that live chats are on Sundays. And but she's okay. I spoke to her earlier and yeah. Yes. I've been dog sitting all day as well as video editing, so I wasn't down there, but I did see her only the other week, and I'll be seeing her probably towards the end of this week, no doubt. Fur baby. Well, I said that with the initial announcement. Yeah. DJ Spire, what amps do I have? If I just get out of the way, there's loads. There's loads here. I use Aguilar amplification through choice, but here I've got Aguilar, I've got EBS, I've got Gens-Benz, I've got an Avalon, I've got Gallien-Kruger, I've got Hartkey, SWR, Trace Elliott, Mesa Boogie, Peavey. Yeah, fairly good spread. Lots of different sounds. I will be doing a load of, now that I've kind of broken the straw that broke the camel's back regarding bass amplification reviews. Try saying that quickly. I can now start doing a bit more of that. Now I've got my head around how to present that to you fine folks in YouTube land. So I will start rattling through some gear demos with the various amps. You've got 4 orange amps, have you? You might like this then. Just bear with me a second. So in that magazine, we now do video reviews, and I've just reviewed the, is it the H200, the all valve orange amp. Just bear me a moment. I'll give you a link. You can check it out. Here we are. That's the fella. Check this out. You got one of these? I would imagine you have. You're probably a weightlifter if you've got one of these. It weighs a ton. I won't even get into the cabinets. Good Lord. I thought it was going to destroy my back getting that out of the packing box. The good old days of a 4x10. They didn't call them nutcrackers for nothing, that's for sure. But yeah, check that out. See what you think. So that video will be modified slightly. It will go up here on Brooks's Bass Corner at the start of May. Don't forget to give the video, this live chat, a thumbs up, folks, if you'd be so kind. Doesn't cost you anything. It's free to do. It's literally a tap of your mouse or a tap of your phone screen or your tablet screen. Thumbs ups make a big difference to the video, big difference to the channel. So please do that if you'd be so kind. Leave comments. Feel free to share the video out to social media if you wish. We have the super chat facility at the bottom of the live chat window if you want to make a financial contribution to the channel. We've also got super thanks. It exists on every single video here on the channel. We're a monetized channel, but the videos are free to watch. But if you like what we do here on Brooks's Bass Corner and you want to contribute, you can do so via super chat and super thanks. We've also got Brooks's Bass Corner merch, which is 20% off up until midnight tonight. So about 170 items, 15 different designs, 20% off until midnight. So links are in the description box below this video window. And also we have affiliate links there for the Bass Center, Top Cashback, vidIQ, Amazon and Thomann. Right, let's have a little look here. It's all good. Just check the community tab. I think we're okay there. Or not. No, we're good. Quickly check. We've got any new subscribers. Oh, we got one new subscriber. Thank you very much. If you're watching, welcome. You're amongst friends. Good to have you along. Stream is healthy. That's good. That's what we want. DJ Spy, you'll check it out. Fab. I did quite a lot of orange reviews for the old magazines. We used to get stuff quite regularly, but we didn't have video reviews back then. So this is a new angle for this magazine. So there's the orange. Well, so far up on that channel, there's the orange rig, Zoomer's favourite, the PV Super Festival rig. There's the Ibanez Tauman bass, and there's the not brand new, they're nearly 2 years old, Bass Centre Neil Murray Snakebite basses. So actually, the two bass reviews aren't even in the mag; they're only on the video review section. So feel free, check it out. So it's 7:15 here in London town. Live chat 157. We're rocketing through them this year. 157 here on Brooks's Bass Corner. We're talking basses, bass amps, bass effects, bass accessories, great bass players, albums with great bass playing on. Everything to do with bass, not bass fishing. That's different. You're in the wrong channel if you come looking for that. But we're talking bass. So yeah, if you've got any more questions or comments about tonight's topic, then feel free, fire away. If you've watched the video I've put up and you suddenly think, no, I don't agree with that, then put a message in the live chat window. Let me know what you don't agree with, and I'll try and explain it to you. So last week I depped for a Queen tribute I've never played with. When I took the gig, I didn't know anyone in the band. I then get a message the following day from a guitarist I'd worked with before who said, you're on the gig. Amazing. Great. And we had a blast. So the depping thing never stops unless you take yourself out of it, unless you say, I'm not doing dep gigs. But it was great. They've already booked me for another gig, so I'm very happy. Stacey, happy Mother's Day to Jen. Thank you. It's all right. She's there. Well, happy Mother's Day to you as well for the Pussycats. She's been in Birmingham at the photography and video show. So I've been dog sitting the hounds and doing the video editing, getting that video ready. I thought it was going to be ready yesterday. I was rattling through it. I thought, this will be up. And didn't get it finished. There were too many bits of extra content, which I've done today. It took about 4.5 hours just for that. So, you love the video. Thank you very much. So which 4 orange amps have you got? I'm imagining you've got a Bass Terror. You've probably got that valve amp. Have you got an Orange Crush or a Purple Crush, the combo, the Glenn Hughes combo? Let us know. List them out. Which one's your favourite? What's your favourite? What's your favourite setup to gig with? Have I got my own studio? No, I don't. I've never needed to have a studio set up. Occasionally I do bits of recording. I plug into a Aguilar tone hammer. It goes into audio interface. I use Audacity, record the tracks, and I send them off. But other than that, no, never had a studio. I have my room here with my gear and what I film in, but it's not a recording setup at all. But I've never needed to have one. I always said, if suddenly a load of work landed on my plate, or I was working with an artist or a band and I needed to have it, then fine, I'd get one. But I saw so many people through the 2000s build their own home studio setups and constantly having to upgrade the technology and the drivers and the audio libraries, and it never seemed to, it seemed like a journey you would never solve, you would never complete. and it just seemed to sap money, which I didn't have coming in from recording. And I just thought, no, it's not for me. Richard, I tend to have different basses for different jobs. Correct. Me too. I don't, as I say in that video, I doff my cap to anyone who can make a living as a bass player with just one bass. You probably can if you got in the right band and you weren't depping a lot, or you're working in one type of genre. For example, if you were just a soul bass player, you could probably buy one bass, stick to one type of strings and make a huge career. In fact, I've probably known a few players that have done that. And they made 30, 40-year careers just playing in the same genre of music. And if you can do that, fabulous. I never could. Too many different bass sounds that I like. And I always wanted to have a nice collection of basses that I could pick and choose from, like a builder or a carpenter has different tools for different things. Here's Russell Zorner. Wedding singers get paid. Certainly do. Wedding bass players get paid. That too. I don't work for free. Never have. People have tried it on, but I don't do it. I don't do freebies. How's young Russell doing? Sorry. The old teeth aren't in today, are they? Come on. Wedding singer as a catch-all for all wedding bands because of the movie. Well, I worked in a wedding band. My main covers band did hundreds of weddings, and we always got paid. Always. I made my living in that band. I did that for 17 years, so... And the weddings, to be fair, make up the lion's share of your money when you're in a covers band, that's for sure. Richard's Joker said in The Dark Knight, if you're good at something, never do it for free. Ain't that right? I don't. Let's have a look here. 125 views on the live chat. Thank you very much. If you're tuning in, wherever you are on the planet. So there is possibility, and this is yet to be discussed further, but there is a possibility we might do a magazine podcast. Just waiting to see, if technologically it's something we can do and want to do. But it's at discussion stage, so I will keep you all posted if that becomes a reality. There's a lot of ideas could transform into realities quite soon. So, as I say, when my editor comes back from holiday, end of this week coming, so Monday next week, there'll be some conversations about what's going in the magazine as we move forward. Should be good. Russell, I'm kind of hoping I can learn enough old songs to fill in for people at tribute band festivals that get too drunk. Yeah, see, in that situation, that sort of thing, it gets sorted out before the gig happens. It's not something that someone in the band gets drunk and then they need a dep. If someone needs a dep, it's sorted out way in advance. Maybe get to play in a few bands depending on how drunk everyone gets. I've never been to that. Where are you living? What festivals are you going to? I've never seen that. I mean, I've seen bands be a bit tipsy and drunk on stage, but generally the depping thing is like in advance. If if a gig comes in and you're not available, that's when you sort out a dep. You don't drink alcohol, I guess, is the important part. Yeah. Hairfest in particular. See, we do things differently over here, I think. I've known bands turn up to gigs and someone in the band has fallen ill en route to the gig. And that's normally when you see stuff go up on Facebook or on WhatsApp groups. You know, such and such has got food poisoning or broken a leg, or they've trapped their hand in a car door, or, you know, various other things. And we need a dep, like now. And that sort of happens. But I've never had it where you go to a festival thinking you might dep for a band because someone got too drunk. I've never seen that. Never seen that. Clearly it's an Oregon thing. Not something I'm aware of, to be fair. But yeah. Yeah, young Richard, while I've got you here. So you frequent Bass Chat, so I'm going to ask your opinion. So, a certain gentleman posted on Bass Chat the other day looking for advice on the price of an instrument, and he didn't. So he was buying it secondhand; it wasn't new, and he put up a price, and he was asking for collective wisdom on whether that was a good price for that instrument or not, and he was intimating it was a little high. I stopped watching that thread. There was nothing of interest there for me. And also because I know that guy's sort of back history a bit. Anyway, woke up this morning, quickly scrolling through messages and stuff, and suddenly see something on Facebook. Turned out that gentleman had bought said instrument and so had been on Bass Chat asking people's opinion whether the price was too high or not. He'd then clearly gone through and bought the instrument, and I've now since found out he did trades, might be multiple trades or whatever. Decided that the bass isn't for him. And this is the fun bit. And then decided to post that bass up for sale, not going back to Bass Chat, clearly, because people would be aware of what he had done, trying to find out if it was a suitable price. But now trying to sell that bass for, at minimum, $2,500 more than the price he was quoting on Bass Chat. So, however he's acquired that bass, in the eyes of the public, he's either bought it at €6,000 or less. I would assume he tried to get the price down. Has taken ownership of that bass and is now trying to sell that bass for an extra $2,500 on top of the price that he was saying that's what the original seller wanted. I called him out on it. I said, I don't know where you're getting this idea from, but you can't, well, you can. Clearly you can, because that's what forums and social media allow. You can put it up for any price you like. But does it not stink of, I don't want to be rude, does it not resonate that you've gone on one forum, you've complained that you think the price is too high and what people think you should pay. You've then acquired that bass and then you're trying to sell it within a day or two of buying it for €8,500. There is no way that instrument is worth €8,500. You've stuck an extra $2,500, if not more, on the price that you've paid. I don't know what he paid for it. And he already knew in the pecking order that that brand of basses is lower down than other models. Now, the other models I've seen go for between $6,500, $7,500. There's no way that bass is worth more than those models. And yet he's trying to pump that out. I thought I called him out on it. I wasn't, and I know I've met the guy. I know his background. I know his story. It just seemed very daft. You know, if you were planning to do that, then why did you go on the forum in the first place asking people what their perspective on the sale price? What anyway? Sorry. I seem like I'm getting agitated, but I'm not. I think people are on. I thought the guy was on the make, and clearly he was. He may get the price. Good luck with that. If that's your thing, go for it. You go for it. But I just thought, why would you openly discuss it on one forum and then sell it on another? And what, as though people don't, and what he's trying to sell is not a standard thing that you'd see every day. I thought it was a bit off, to be fair. And then he tried to send me a friend request on Facebook. That wasn't happening. I'm not getting into that discussion. If you're happy doing that, you go for it. But yeah, you can have a conversation with me via Messenger. You don't need to do it in the broad glare of Facebook. Russell, we have a few festivals that are multi-day campouts. Yeah, we have those. There are a lot of hangovers. It's mostly local people. There are a lot of musicians in your area in the woods for 4 days with a beer. That's a long time to make a beer last. It'd be flat. It'd be flat. I think it's not as much the region as you find groups of people. Right, fair enough. Everyone stay healthy. Good, got to go. GTS. Take it easy, my man. We'll see you soon. It's just gone 7:30 here in London. Live chat 157 here on Brooks's Bass Corner. You're very welcome. Good to see you. Come on in. We're talking bass guitars, bass players, bass gear. Songs and albums with great bass playing on. If you've got any questions or comments, put them in the live chat window. Press send and I will respond to them as soon as I see them. Don't forget to give the live chat a thumbs up, please, folks, if you'd be so kind. Doesn't cost you anything. It's just a tap of your mouse or your phone screen or your tablet screen. It really helps the video, helps the channel, and pushes the video through the algorithm. Thank you very much. Zuma, how are we doing with the Rio editing? I wasn't going to ask, but if you're there. Zuma had a new video up this week. He looked at the Duran Duran track Virus. I'll put a little link here. Bear with me a moment as I get that link. With a very pinky purple cover. Thumbnail. Cover. Oh, look at me. So if you want to check out Zuma's video, it's there. And Zuma's got a new addition. Got a new cat called Reeves. Congratulations, my man. Well done on taking him on. And couldn't wish for a nicer dad. So have you got any questions about tonight's topic? Being a bass dep, being a sub, a stand-in. It's called different things wherever you are on the planet. We call it depping over here in the UK. Can I be your dep? I get that. I used to get that quite a lot. People applying to be my dep. No, I pick my deps. That's how that works. Zuma coming along will hopefully be live by Friday. No rush, take your time. if you wait another 5-6 weeks, you'll actually hit the anniversary, won't you? 44 years. Make me feel old. Thank you for the plug. Pleasure. That's what we do. One of the forgotten tracks from Astronaut. I still think Beautiful Colours should have been on the album. But there we are. Oh, talking of Duran Duran, I've been contacted by Andrew Golub, Durandy, who does various Duran Duran books. His latest tome, which is a fairly sizable, a sizable undertaking on the career of Mr. John Taylor. He got me to write an intro to it. About 3 or 4 years ago. I think it was just before Bass Player stopped. So yeah, 2022, I think. Anyway, I wrote that quite a while ago. And for a couple of years, I heard nothing. I kept messaging him saying, how's that book coming along? Nothing. Now I've had 2 messages in about the last 3 or 4 months. So it's very close. So there will be a very good book about John Taylor heading our way. And I will keep you posted as and when it's available. But everything this guy does is quality books, like hardcover, great paper, great printing. They're not cheap. You can buy some of his other books on Amazon, and some of them are out of print now. You can't get them. But this John Taylor one is in the melting pot. So I would imagine probably by the summer, it's going to be ready. Can't wait to see it. And there's some famous people have written some stuff in there, but I thought I was doing the foreword, and then he sent me a message the other day to say there was someone else doing a foreword. So I don't know if I'm doing an intro or I don't know. But anyway, my little section is in there, so it's all good. Zooming, you were listening to Beautiful Colours just before tuning in. It's a good song, should have been in it. They played it when I saw them at Wembley in 2004. I'd already heard it. I'd heard all the extra tracks that were written in the sessions before that gig, but there was some good stuff written then. There really was. Exciting. You heard it here first, boys and girls. I think I might have mentioned this about 4 years ago when he first approached me. He actually approached the magazine, and my editor said, do you want to do that? Actually put it out to me and I think 2 others, and I probably responded quickest and said, yes, fine, love to. What do you want me to do? And he sort of gave me a synopsis, and that was that. So I think I wrote one. Yeah, I think I only wrote it once, and he said, perfect, couldn't write it any better. So no editing required, but we'll see. We'll see if what I wrote makes the book. He says it is, because I'm in the credits, but you never know. These things can get taken out even at the last minute. So, but once it's printed, it's printed. So we'll see. We shall see. Everything's fine. Yep, done all that. That's all good. There we go. So what's next after the Rio thing's out? What's next on your Duran Tracks conveyor belt? What are you looking at next? You're going to run out of tracks one day. And also, once, as you said, once we've done the Rio video and it's out, we should do a live chat. You could tap into that. That would do your channel a world of good, I suspect. Have you got any questions? Anything to do with bass guitar, bass effects, amps, players? The magazine. It's here, folks. It's here. Even Bill Derbyshire's got his copy. And he can't slope off to go and watch Call the Midwife tonight because it's finished. You still there, Bill? Am I keeping you up? Have you bought any new gear? That's the question. Run out of tracks? Never. You will. If you go quick enough, you'll run out of them all. Or you'll have to start doing the 12-inch remixes and such. What you should do is, because obviously you don't worry about copyright restrictions, because you must get absolutely leathered with them. You should do a live chat and play through a whole live set. And then go through the messages as you get to the end of each track. That'd be a good venture. You could easily fill up 3 hours doing that. As well as keeping your chops up, you know. So how are you finding that JT Dingwall? How's it working for you? And that's your first Dingwall, isn't it? I don't think you've got any others. Am I right? I can't remember. It's gone a bit quiet. What's that? The Girls on Film Night version I did years ago is in my top 3 watch videos. Yeah, some of your, I mean, because you've been on here for like 19 years. Some of those older videos have racked up the views, haven't they? My God. My God. I bet they've all got restricted on, though, when you go into the content section of the studio. I bet they've all got restricted. Copyright claim. Because Duran are known for doing that. I know a friend of mine tried doing a cover of Rio and he got absolutely pulled to pieces by YouTube, and it got and he took it down and put it back up and it just, in the end I think he just went, it's just not worth the bother. The Dingwall is great, just trying to find the right set of strings. I do not like the ones that come with it at all. The tone is fine, but they are way too stiff. You've got to remember, you got that scale length. That's going to make a big difference. And on the 5-string, it's a chunky-ish neck. If you've got high tension strings, you can use rotor sound. You have to get the extra long length ones. EXLs, I think they are. So there is a 66, but you don't get tapered windings. So I don't know if that would affect your bridge. And also the nut, where the nut is, that can cause a problem as well. It's coming up 7:45 here in London. Live chat 157 here on Brooks's Bass Corner. on this live chat. We have had 144 views. Thank you very much if you're watching. And especially if you're contributing to the live chat as well. Quite fabulous. Thank you very much. Zuma, it's only the tension on the G and D strings that bothers you. Okay. They can be tricky to get strings for. Again, based on where the nut and the bridge saddle is and whether you need a tapered winding or not. Because I know lots of people bought their regular strings that they like and it just didn't work. So you might need to do a bit of shopping around and have a look on some of the Dingwall forums and see. I mean, lots of people just stick with either Paysons or Dingwall's own strings, but I've got a number of the Rotor Sound sets, but I've never had to change the strings on this bass yet. I don't use it enough to have killed off the strings. So I think the Darios have started doing some that are designed specifically for Dingwall. So, and also, so many brands now do a fan fret multi-scale bass that it's in the string makers' interests to have strings available for those basses. They should be quite similar to a regular 34-inch scale, but these Darios, and yeah, this is what I'm saying. Assuming the Dingwall strings are Dario, I'm not sure. You could message Sheldon and he'll tell you. He'll tell you. Yeah, I'm sure the Paysons come in a 4125. I can't remember if the Dingwalls do. Let me have a look on their site. Hold on. Shop. Strings, here we go. 45 130, 45 127, 30 130 for a 6-string set. Okay, doesn't look like Dingwall do a 40 125. And I'm not sure if Payson do either. They might. Let's just check. There's a 42 to a 125. So it's steel. Yeah, they're steel. So there's a long scale, medium scale. There's a 128 to a 44. Yeah, you don't. They don't tend to do 45 to 130, 44 to 128. And you start going into the drop tuning sets. 50 to 160. There's a 35 to a 110. Oh, there is a 40 to a 125 Payson. C standard fan. Yes, there is. So that's Payson's own strings. A 70 to a 160. Good Lord. You might as well play rope, to be fair. Yeah. You might just need to get some money out of your pocket, Zuma, and just buy a couple of different types of sets and see what works. I don't know if rotor sound do reduce tension strings. I've not, as far as I'm aware, I've never seen that. I don't think so. Let's have a look. I know most of my rotor sound strings, but I can't remember. Bass. No. No. Not seeing it. Not seeing it. Right, let's do a Google search for reduced tension bass strings. I know Tomastic Infill do them. Labellas do low tensions. Dunlop, apparently, they're super bright nickels are low tension, but I have a real bee in my bonnet with Dunlop strings after I had a load of sets for testing. They always, when you bent a note anywhere on any of the strings, it felt like the string was rotating under your finger as you bent it, rather than sort of staying straight and you're pushing it up or bending it down. I couldn't stand. It was like the string wasn't under my control anymore. There's lots of possibilities, Zuma. As we speak, you're installing the Black Beauties. Black Beauties, Black Beauties, Black Beauties. Road Sound Black Beauties. Black Beauties. I know not of which you speak, young man. Oh, can't see the chat there. There we are. You're installing the Black Beauties. Which brand? Speak forth in ringing tones, young man. There's young Graham Potts. Evening all. You're stringing up a bass while listening in. Thank you very much. What are you stringing up, and with what? The aforementioned DRs. Very good. Okay, that's young Zuma there. I haven't had to restring anything because I've had no gigs. Young Sean. You just reacted to my my post on Bass Chat about the Neil Murray bass. The basses are made in Korea to a very high standard. You've played a Betsy, and all the reviews that gush about how good it is aren't lying. It's an impressive bass. To my mind and experience, they're as good as reminded me of Korean-built Lakeland Skyline series basses. The signature artists of those bass collection basses actually play them. Yep, loads of videos of Guy Pratt playing his with Saucer Full of Secrets, yeah. Yeah, the Neil Murray bass is quite splendid, I have to say. And I've got to give them back at the end of this week. But they have been here for a considerable amount of time. So it's time for them to go back and something else to appear in their place. We will see. And Barry and I we've got a lot to talk about on Friday. So I will share what I can with you next Sunday. But as I said earlier, I'm going to be firing a load of questions at him, not this Friday, but on another occasion. So if you've got any questions for Barry at the Bass Centre, let me know, and I will compile a list of viewers' questions, and I will fire them at him. As amongst my own questions, I have many questions for him when we get round to filming an interview, which is long overdue, frankly. And yeah, he said he'll do it, so it's good. He said just get the questions together, and then we'll have an afternoon or an evening, and we'll just film it. So it's all good, all good. Right, it has just gone 5 to 8 here in London. It's gone a little quiet, so I'll give it another couple of minutes. If you've got any questions about basses, bass guitars, bass amps, bass effects, bass players, great albums with bass playing, great albums with great bass playing on would be preferred. Put your comments, questions in the text box. Press send and I will respond to them as quickly as I can. Please give the live chat a thumbs up, even if you're watching after the event. It really helps. Pushes the video and the channel through the algorithm. As I said earlier, put a new video up just a couple of hours ago, actually, 3 hours ago. There's a link in the description box if you want to check it out. I'll post a link here as well for those who may not have seen it or been advised that it's there to be viewed. If you haven't seen it, I hope you enjoy it. If you've got any gigs coming up, let us know where you're playing. Are you out and about this week? Paddy's Day on Tuesday. For many years I did gigs on St. Patrick's Day, and I'm very pleased that I don't anymore. They were lethal. My car was used as a battering ram while stationary once upon a time for a security man and a punter in a pub having a fight. And literally the guy just kept pummeling the guy into the side of my car, which was not ideal, I have to say. And I didn't get a penny in compensation, even though it all went to court, not through me. The guy that got beaten up sued the bouncer, and I was supposed to get compensation for the damage, and I got nothing. So there we are. Graham Potts got a very pretty Say 5, excellent, that needed a truss rod tweak. Understood. Loosened the A string to get the Allen key in, but then the string broke while tuning up, just restrung with a set of Black Fry Ernie balls. I don't know what you're talking about. Black Fry Ernie balls. What's black? Must be a bit of predictive text going on there. Black Fry? Black flats, maybe. I don't know. Would you like to type that again? Or the last bit, because I don't know what those are. Black Fry Ernie balls. Stacey, glad to be out of the bagpipe band world regarding St. Patrick's Day parades. Yeah, I did many gigs on St. Patrick's Day, and I'll be honest, they were never particularly enjoyable. It was all, by the time we played, everyone was so absolutely leathered beyond belief. You didn't get a word of sense out of anyone. The venues were just coated in beer and crap all over the floor. And the gigs just really weren't enjoyable. One or two were okay, but I think back on all the years I did those. So from 1999 up until 2018. Yeah, I did my dues, I can assure you. I think he means strings he bought on Black Friday. Right, got you. So you're ahead of the curve, young Zoomer. Clearly. Stacey, there's no reasoning with anyone on that day. No, quite exactly, because they've all been drinking since about 7 a.m. And by the time you're doing a gig like 8 or 9 o'clock at night, it's just beyond the pale. Sorry, can't only get so many words in a one message. Got you, no problem. Don't worry, my man. I didn't know what I was like, what are they? Yeah, Black Friday. There haven't been any string deals actually at Amazon for a little while. I do keep checking on a weekly basis, but I'm not seeing anything there. Not recently, anyway. Yeah, I've been quite fortunate. No gigs, no restringing. It's you can't have one without the other, frankly. But I know during the summer it's going to go a little mental. So I have my string supplies ready and waiting to go. I just need some gigs to use the basses on. Right, let's just have a quick look here. We've done 153 views. Thank you. Well done, folks. One new subscriber. Thank you if you're watching. And I realise I need to book in more live chats. Let me just check the calendar. Don't think anything's really changed. Next week's fine. Week after, yep. We've got Easter Sunday coming up, first weekend in April. So at the moment we can do live chats up until the 12th of April. Then I've got 2 Sunday gigs on the bounce. And then we're into summer, aren't we? It all goes a bit potty. We will see. You're typing, Graham says he's typing and stringing at the same time. You just carry on with the stringing. Do what's important first. Okay, folks, it's gone quite quiet, so I'm going to wrap it up for tonight. Thank you very much. Live chat 157, complete, done, dusted. Folks, have a great week. Enjoy your bass playing. If you're out gigging, have a good time. We'll be back here next Sunday, same time, same place. There will be videos going up. As I said, there's a new video up, which went up 3 hours ago. By all means, watch it. There's a link in the description box. I've put links in the live chat. Check it out. Post comments. Let me know what you think. Feel free to share it out. Please give it a thumbs up as well, if you'd be so kind. And we'll see you next Sunday. So as we go out, I have to do a link to another video. So if you're on the vertical stream, it will be, you're going to see a graphic there-ish. And if you're on the horizontal one, it'll be sort of there. I'm going to put a link there to the bass reviews playlist. So if you want to check out some of the bass reviews here on the channel, there's going to be loads more going up over the next couple of weeks. And we've got all the stuff coming in from the mag as well. It's going to get very hectic, but I'm going to put a little thumbnail. You're going to see it there. And if you're on the vertical stream, it will be there for the bass reviews playlist. So on that note, guys and girls, have a great week. I will see you next week. Thank you for all the super chats, Stacey, Sean, everyone else. Thank you very much appreciated. And I will see you next Sunday. So take it easy. Have a great week. Enjoy your bass playing.